Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Sonia, also known as SG from Let the Lady Speak podcast, where we discuss life, love, dating, relationships, healing, and mental health. I am also here on my YouTube channel doing a review of Ready to Love. Ready to Love is a dating show, and it very much mirrors what it's like to date in today's time. So I give my feedback, input, and commentary on it based on what I've learned in my singleness and also what I've experienced. So let's stay tuned. We are doing Ready to Love season 4, episode 12. I choose you. So it all makes sense now. Things make sense. So let's get into tonight's episode. So first up, we have Joelle going to meet Vernisha's family. Vernisha's mom, stepdad, and oldest child are there, and you can tell they're really good people. You can tell that they are kind people. They are welcoming people. Like, they are people where you are automatically the cousin. Come get a plate. Come sit down. What you need a place to stay. You're taken care of. Like, you really much get that vibe from Vernisha's family. Joelle comes in, they ask questions. Mama got right to it. Mama's like, what's your intentions with my daughter? And here's my takeaway. Here's what I think. I think Joelle knows that Vernisha is a good person and a good woman and would be a great example for his children and a great mom to his children. I think that Joelle is trying to fulfill a promise that he made, because he mentioned that his wife said, find someone that loves you and love the children, and that you can love. And she said, find someone that loves you and that can love the children. I think Joel's trying to keep that promise, but I don't really think he's ready. I don't think he's finished grieving. I don't think that he's ready to commit. If you think back to, I think it was episode 1 or 2, whenever they went on their first date, and he basically said, yeah, me being married proved to me that I could marry. Joel doesn't trust himself. He doesn't trust himself to be in a place of marriage right now. But he made a promise, and he has to do the right thing because he knows he has to give the structure to his children. I don't think Joel is completely there yet. I like Joel. I think he's a nice guy. He's very charming, very charismatic, but I really think that there's more work that needs to be done, and there's some unresolved issues. And I think Vernisha's liking towards him is alarming, which is concerning, because you should want someone that cares about you. You should want someone that really likes you. I think he feels like it's going too fast. But that's what this is supposed to be all about. So I think Joel is just confused and he's scared, and there's things that he hasn't dealt with that maybe he should take some time to himself and deal with them, and really ask himself some really questions, some good questions, and be honest with himself. I don't think he's being honest with himself as far as where he really truly is. And I don't think he trusts himself enough to be what he needs to be in this situation. I know some of you guys commented that Joel had divorced, him and his wife were divorced before she passed away, but that's not what he's presenting on the show. I just think there's a lot of guilt there, and I think Joel should deal with that, and just really communicate that to Vernisha. I don't think he's being transparent with her. He just keeps saying, yeah, I'm ready for a family. I want this family. But he's really, I don't see that he really is. So we're going to see what happens with those two. So next up, we have Liz meeting Liz and Jason. And Jason is meeting Liz's family. Her brother, I think is her brother or sister, or they're sisters. I can't remember. But they are meeting for dinner. And Jason comes in. He takes charge. He says he's confident in himself, and he shows that. He takes charge. He leads in prayer, and they just have like some small talk, and basically they like him. And someone asks Jason, have y'all been kissing? Jason's like, he kissed me. She kissed me. So let me say this. I've watched a few, and I myself have had some reservations about Jason, right? And I've watched a few reviews where people talk about Jason. But there is a lot that men can learn from Jason. And Jason is the youngest of the group. For one, Jason is very intentional. And when you're dating, you want to date a man that's intentional. Jason is that. He is intentional. I know there was some discussions about how he said he made the comment that I want you to lead, or he told Kyra, I want you to let me know what we're doing here. And some people didn't like that, but I took it as, I need to know that you want me to pursue you, because he's asking permission to pursue you. And that's true. A man doesn't just choose you, you choose that man as well. So are we okay together? Is this something that we should continue to do? And Jason wanted that from Kyra, and Kyra couldn't get that, but he got that from Liz. And what that says, when you are allowing someone to pursue you, is that yes, I'm interested in you too, and yes, I'm serious about the next level of the situation, or at least getting to know you. It speaks volumes. And sometimes people don't pay attention to what's really being said, or what's really being done, or the meaning behind certain things. That's another thing that people can learn from Jason. Jason is intentional. He is respectful of you, and you can really tell that he has a great relationship with his mom, which you'll see later. But we also got that last week when he talked about the white rose with Liz. Jason knows what he wants, and he's intentional, and he courts, which you don't see much of anymore. So if Jason is doing all these things and he's doing them pure of heart, which I think he is, and I'll tell you why, then it's a good thing. This is how a man should operate. He's confident enough to come in to take lead in prayer. That's huge, especially in a family that appreciates or has, praise and are religious based and spiritual people. But the fact that he came in and took lead was huge. I'm not afraid. And why that is an important sign, and that is something that I, give Jason a thumbs up about, is when you deal with predators, predators don't lead in that fashion. They usually try to make you retreat. They try to push the family away. They try to isolate, or they try to hide. If you think about the difference between when David met with Liz's friend, what's his name, Clarence or Carlton, I can't remember, or when Jason met with Liz's family, it's completely different, because his motives aren't to isolate her. He has nothing to hide. He isn't insecure. He isn't plotting, basically. He's not grooming Liz. I don't think that Jason's intentions with Liz are bad. I do think Jason played a little game. I do think Jason still has some growing to do, but as far as how he's operating in this dating realm, Jason's doing a good thing. And again, if his heart is pure, like if he really means this, which I think he does, if his heart is pure, he's moving in the right direction. And again, men can learn from that. Take the lead. Be confident. Court your lady, treat your lady like a lady. Liz carries herself as such too. She carries herself in a way that this is what she demands. You can tell she demands to be treated like a lady, and she allows it to happen. She doesn't resist it because she's comfortable in herself, and she's comfortable with what she wants. Those things are very, very important. So I like the interaction between them, and I'm proud of Jason for just coming in and being comfortable enough in himself to take the lead as a man. So next up, we have Amber meeting Chris's or KG's brothers. And let me say this. KG wants to be loved. KG really, really wants to be loved, and he wants his heart loved. Okay? And I think his brothers are aware of how much he wants that, and they have genuine concern for him. Now, the one thing I can't stand is when people ask people, are they still single because something is wrong with them? Here's the thing. You don't have to be with someone. No one has to be in a relationship. Relationships are dating relationships or mate is a bonus to your life. Amber is still really young, and she's a new lawyer. She's been busy building her career and going through school and things like that. It doesn't mean there's something wrong. I really dislike when people ask that question, although I feel like you want to know why people aren't in a relationship. I think that would be a better question. Why aren't you in a relationship, and what are you looking for? versus is there something wrong with you? Because it doesn't mean that there's anything wrong with you. And I hate that people do that to people. They try to make people feel bad for being single. Singleness is a beautiful thing. And I just got off of a solo vacation to the Caribbean, to Mexico. I can tell you guys all about it. If you're interested, let me know in the comments below. But no, it doesn't mean that there's anything wrong with you. So that, I didn't like that question. But anyway, the brothers, you can tell, are really trying to protect Chris. Chris, you can tell, lives in his own world, and he has a kind, open heart. And Chris strikes me as someone who may be a little long suffering, meaning he'll take a lot from somebody before he walks away. And he's a Cancer, and cancers, a lot of cancers are like that, you know. Amber has proven that she isn't always honest, because, you know, she said when they asked her if she was true, how do they know that she's being honest? Because I think Chris was really, really hurt by what happened with Naya. You know, they want to make sure that this doesn't happen to their brother again, because, hey, somebody's showing you some interest and now you're all in with this girl. Let's see what's really going on, which is, you know, that's a good thing to do. You want to dig deeper. The Emperor said, I'll put my money where my mouth is. So far, Amber, you know, you really haven't been doing a good job. You've been dishonest. When he expressed that he was doing something to better himself, you basically said that you would tempt him. And I don't think that Chris is picking up on the red flags, and the brothers are trying to. But Chris is so happy. It's like, it's not going to matter. It's going to take Amber really, really doing something, either A, pushing him away, or really doing something devastating to Chris for Chris to walk away. Which, when you see that for a loved one, that's really, really scary. I don't think Chris, again, I've said this before, I don't think he really knows what he's getting himself into. And I don't think he's really ready. Chris is just ready to love. He's just ready to be loved and to give his love and to be happy, you know. I don't think Chris is really looking through the lens that he needs to look through. And it can't just be through your heart. You have to also use logic and common sense. And you also have to pay attention to the signs. And you also have to read things for what they are and not for what you think they are. And I don't think Chris is doing that. But we'll see. I hope not, though, because I really like Chris's gentle spirit. And I think his brothers know that, you know, this young lady could potentially break his heart, and they don't want to see that for him. So next, AJ meets with Kyra and Kyra's mom, who I just adored. She was so cute. I love her hair. I love the jazziness of her, and I love the wisdom of her mom, because you don't always see that in mothers. Especially, you just don't always see it. And then I also like the questions. She asks very important questions, and that's where I like the wisdom of her from. Then there was also her sister Corey, who's not a blood related sister, but she's family. She's her big sister, and she's also an attorney. And let me just say this, Corey, and I'm not saying this to be mean, Corey didn't need to be there. It really should have just been Kyra and her mother, because I'm sure Corey heard the story about the check and she's still holding on to that. And if that is the case, you know, you're already biased. And so you're not going to give AJ a fair chance. That's number one. And number two, Kyra and Corey both have this let's punish a man type of attitude. And I really would like for Kyra to explore why she feels the need to punish men and why she's so guarded, and get to a place where she's willing to let her guard down. Because it's not just about what a person does, how they make you feel safe and comfortable and things like that to aid in that, because we do have to protect ourselves or parent ourselves. Shout out to Stephanie Lynn Coaching. But you also have to be willing to let your guards down. Everybody's not going to come with a chisel and just chip away at you. You know, especially if that person is in a healthy place. When you're in a healthy place, you don't want to do that. You don't want to do the work for the next person. You want that person to work on themselves and you be there with them. That's okay. It's not okay for someone to do the work for you. And then Kyra, she really has some issues that she needs to deal with. and that's just my opinion. So Corey asks, what does Kyra want? AJ doesn't know what Kyra wants. Kyra hasn't said what Kyra wants. Kyra doesn't know what Kyra wants. Kyra just knows she wants to feel safe. But Kyra doesn't know. He can't know. So a lot of the questions they ask, I'm like, that's a question for Kyra. This was one of them. Or my attitude was, wait a minute. Kyra didn't tell you these things. When she says she liked AJ, what did she say? Because whether or not he's romantic or funny or things like that, those are things that, if that's what Kyra wanted or likes about him, she should have told them. That's not for him to say to her, unless those are the complaints she had, and then they're just trying to find out if it's true or not. I'm not sure. I really didn't like those questions. However, I love the questions that the mom asked. Mom got down to the nitty gritty, honey, and I liked her questions. So one of them was, what's your relationship with your mom? Listen, ladies, when you are dating men, you have to know, you have to find out what's the relationship like with their mother. That question will tell you everything you need to know. Because if it's a strained relationship or a non-existent relationship or unhealthy relationship, you're going to have a hard way to go unless that man has done a lot of work on himself. Right. And so that is not always the case, especially in our community, because we don't feel like we need to get help and the church is enough, when in fact we do need to seek help. Okay. That's number one. And this is a personal story for me. I've dated men who had issues with their mothers, because I have issues with my mother, and I had issues growing up. And with that, you bond over that. But the difference is, I went and got therapy and treatment, and I went through therapy with my mom, whereas a lot of us have not had that opportunity or that choice or believed in it, and it presents itself very, very differently, So that was a very good question, because mom knows that is important, because he will treat you how men always treat women, based on how they feel about their mother. Okay. And then the other question the mother asks is, how do you handle disagreements? You want to know that. And AJ actually did a really good thing. I have to say, AJ has won me over. I still think he needs to go to therapy. I'm going to get on AJ later. But AJ really has won me over, because the kindness of him just continues to show, but it's very slow moving. Like, he peels back his layers very slowly and very carefully, because he's protecting himself, and I really can't blame him for that. But he said, we'll deal with what's at hand, and then, if you embarrass me or something like that, I'll put myself later. And it's like, AJ, don't ever put yourself on a back burner. I understand what he was trying to say, but again, I'm going to get into AJ later. But that was a good question that his mom asked. And then the mother asked too, what's the next step? And AJ said, I don't know. And that was an honest action, because again, there is no direction. Those two, there's no direction. Kyra has not said what it is that she wants. She hasn't said that she wants him. So she has said that. She said she doesn't want him, because she hasn't said she wanted him. But Kyra isn't clear. So AJ isn't clear. AJ is, for whatever reason, which I'm going to talk about it in a little bit, AJ has his different reasons for pursuing Kyra. But it isn't because she's ready, set, go. That's for sure. And then the mother mentioned that she likes AJ's emotional intelligence. And I have to say, I agree, which I initially didn't get. I was just like, AJ is a player. Like, that I knew from the get-go. And I still feel like AJ is a player. But I feel like AJ is really ready to love and seeking love. He just, A, has some things he hasn't dealt with, and B, he's protecting himself. And there isn't anything wrong with that. But the fact that he protects himself to the extent that he does lets you know how much he probably has not been protected in the past, which I kind of got a glimpse of that from him early on. So we'll see. But Kyra basically says, no, Corey, I'm sorry. Corey says, I don't think your representatives have introduced each other you guys representatives haven't introduced each other to the true person that you guys are. And that's very true. But that's Kyra too. Like, we really have to normalize, we have to normalize holding our friends and family accountable for who they are and their behaviors. You know, people always want to like look at the other person. That's why I don't like people to hook me up, because you'll just push this person off on me, but you don't know how this person is in a relationship, or you know how the person is, but you just want them to be better, and you think that I can make it better, or you think the other person can make it better. That's not how this goes. Healing starts from within. And if you haven't dealt with yourself, no one else is going to be able to help you. No one else is going to be able to fix that. I don't care who they are. You know, it's just not going to happen. And so, you know, coming down on AJ isn't a solution. Y'all really need to get on Kyra. And Kyra really needs to work on Kyra. And then you could talk about whatever the man she dates. But if Kyra was healed and ready and whole and dealt with her own skeletons and issues, then Kyra would be more willing to put her heart on the table, and she would know, she would have the discernment to know who's right and who's wrong for her, and she will be seeking what's right for her in a relationship. That's the issue. The issue isn't AJ. So we'll see. So next up we have Amber and KG. And KG is meeting Amber's family. And Amber has her brother, her older brother, her sister, and her best friend there. And then Joel has his sister, and I think that's his niece. I want to say that's his niece, Butter Baby, whom I like Butter. Okay, she was sweet. But so they all meet up. First, starting with Amber and KG, you know, you could tell there's some reservations. I think the reservation has a lot to do with the age difference, which is understandable. Then the one sister rather asks KG, how many serious relationships have you been in? And KG said 4. And, you know, KG was like, I know you're not feeling it, but that's okay. You know, KG's like, it is what it is. I have 4 serious relationships. Chris is a relationship guy. Chris is a hopeless romantic. Chris is he loves to be in a relationship. He loves love, and you can tell that about him. So I don't think that there is anything wrong with that. It's just what happened, that there wasn't any further commitment, and I think that would have been a great follow-up question. So what happened? I don't think the number is bad. Plenty of people have had relationships, you know, have had long-term relationships that just didn't work out. But you want to know, like, why? What did you learn from it? How did you grow from it? What would you have done differently? Like, those are the kind of questions I think probably would have helped in a follow-up, just to get a kind of clear sense as to where he is and what he's about. And then, you know, but like Chris said, okay, y'all don't like it, but that's all right. Like, as long as she likes it, I'm good. And then they asked again about work. And again, I'm surprised like the brother didn't step up. I don't know what's been edited out, but I would think that the guy would talk more, because men usually can read, if they're not hating on them, they usually can read men better. So it's kind of like I would like for the men to kind of say more. But anyway, the sister asks, well, basically, how would you stop Amber from working herself to death? And, you know, they have concerns as to whether or not he'll be intimidated by her, because that does happen a lot. And Chris was like, no, like, she's a queen goddess. Like, I'll make sure there's some balance there, essentially. You know, Chris is going to have Amber out in the yard soaking up the sun. They're going to be out there grounding and doing all type of different things, yoga, cleansing. Chris is gonna have Sage run the house, like, you know, he's gonna make sure she's okay. Chris is a person about energy, and energy is very, very important. Energy is strong, and I know Chris will try to maintain a healthy balance in energy in an environment, because it's essential for him. So I think if they're in a relationship, that's something that he will make sure is balanced out. They have other issues, but just as far as whether or not Chris is going to care for her, Chris will care for her and allow her to be who she is. The issue is how true is Amber gonna be, and is she gonna treat Chris with what he deserves. Joelle and the sisters, BB and Bud, what is it, Butter baby. Let me tell you something. I love me some New Orleans people. I love Southern people, period. My family's from the South. I'm from the Midwest, but my family's from the South. I love me some Southern people, but baby, them New Orleans folks, baby, ooh. Ooh. I haven't gone. It's been since 2019, but I'm going back down there. I love me New Orleans, okay? Anyway, the niece seems more, I like her. She was more honest, and she looks like, she seems as though her interest was for Joelle and not so much who is this woman. Like, sometimes we're territorial for no reason. Joelle can never be your man. That's your brother, right? So don't be territorial as though somebody stepped into your man. Joelle is, a single guy looking for someone for the family. And so the sister said later, BB, I think she likes you too much. And again, I don't know what that is. Maybe too much too soon, which is what Joel clarified. He was like, yeah, too much too soon. And then the niece, Butter baby, said, well, you said that's how Courtney felt about you. But Joel is scared. And I said this earlier. Joel is scared. Joel is scared he's going to mess it up. He's scared he's not ready. He's scared it's not going to work out. Joel is terrified. Like, you can see the terror in his face. And I think that's what's holding him back. He just doesn't know that he can do right, because he doesn't know for sure that he's in the right place, or he knows he's not really in the right place. He just knows he has to do the right thing. But he also knows that he can mess it up, and he doesn't want to do that, So Joel just has to deal with Joel. And that's the bottom line. That's how I feel about it. I have nothing else to say. Next up, we have AJ, his mom, and Kyra meeting. And we have Liz, Jason, and Jason's mom meeting. I'm going to separate these two because I have some things to say about that dynamic with AJ and his mother. So, again, getting back to the point that it's very important to know what a man's relationship with their mom is, because it tells a lot about him and how he feels about women. This scenario, the dynamic between these two groups, is a prime example. Jason has a lot of love and reverence for his mom. Like, he highly respects her. He's very much a gentleman towards her. You can tell his mom is very loving and nurturing, but she's also very firm. And that's how Jason operates. He operates as someone who had that type of environment growing up. AJ's situation is different though. So the mom, right off the rip, was like, so what about money? How are you with money? What about money? And Liz basically said, I am, I've been with struggle, but I also have had a good life. So she knows the best of both worlds, which is very important, because if you have someone that can handle the hard times and the good, that's the person you want on your team. You want someone that when times get rough, they can pull up their sleeves and say, come on, let's do this. And then when times are good, and they're good times, you know what I mean? But if you have someone that doesn't know how to survive when time gets rough, those are the people that leave, because rough things have happened. And the fact of the matter is, in life, things are going to be good and things are going to be bad. Money comes and goes. Good times come and goes. Trouble comes and goes. And if I'm going to have you as a life partner, or if you want someone as a life partner, you want someone that is willing to ride that wave. You don't want someone that as soon as the money is gone, they're gone. And you've invested your life and time and your money into this person, and they walk away. So Liz is basically saying that she was ever able to do that. Like, she's fine. Plus, Liz has her own, but she didn't really go into that from what we saw. And then the other thing is, and I loved this question. The mother said, do you know how to lead without him knowing he's being led? And that is really one of the arts of a woman. Okay. And it's important in leadership. In leadership, You don't always, the leader isn't always leading ahead. Sometimes you have to lead from behind. Sometimes you have to lead from within. Sometimes you have to let someone else lead. As a leader, you know, okay, this is my area of weakness, but this is your area of strength. I'm going to put you in charge of this. If you are a micromanager, you're not a leader. You know, it shows your insecurity. It shows your lack of trust. It shows, again, your insecurity. So because you feel uncomfortable with someone else doing something, whereas when you are a real good leader knows when to step back, knows when to step up, knows when to appreciate. You know, you want your team to be the best team. You want your team to represent you well and themselves. You promote growth. You promote a better version of them. And that's how it is in a relationship. And so as a woman, when you lead a man from behind, it's just a way, there's a way to give a person a gentle reminder that you got this and you can do this. Let's consider this versus let me tell you what you gonna do. You know, they're two different things. Being loud and bossy and boisterous and rude and nasty, that isn't a leader. It isn't alpha. It isn't any of these titles that people have put on it. But when you can blow softly like the wind and move a leaf from one area to the next and land it gently, that's when you've done something. Because when you are a very good leader, a person will follow you anywhere because they trust you, right? And that they know you have their best interest. So I love that question. And Liz basically says, you know, I've never been married, but I believe with wisdom and prayer, meaning I'm gonna come to you about your son. With wisdom and prayer, we'll be okay. And the mom seems to like that, and she asked for her approval. The mom, Jason asked for the mom's approval, and she gave her approval right then and right there. I think Jason sees a lot of his mom in Liz, meaning that ladylike softness in her demeanor and being gentle and being kind, but being about their business and being strong when they need to. Because Liz is no punk, honey, okay? But she just handles herself a certain way. She keeps it at a lady level where, you know, other people may not. And so I think that's why Jason really truly likes Liz. Yeah, that interaction was nice. Now, okay, let's get to AJ, his mom, and Kyra. Kyra meets AJ's mom. Men typically meet or date women that are like their mothers, right? And he basically says that, you know, she has that strong personality and things like that. The problem with that though is that when it is a unhealthy relationship, or when a mother has unhealthy and or toxic behaviors, the son is attracted to that too, because that is what they're used to. And it's not just men, women do it too, but we're talking about men right now. And AJ's mother doesn't respect him. She doesn't show that she really likes him, honestly. And they made a comment about them two butting heads. And this tells so much about AJ. It tells why he keeps himself so guarded. And again, he parents himself. He parents himself because I don't think AJ has been parented by his mom. I think he has had to pay for the decisions that his mother has made, and meaning his father. And I think that has caused strife between them. Even like, just hear me out, because I know some people aren't going to like what I'm saying, and that's okay, because I'm here to tell you, out in this dating world, this is what I see when I date these men, and it's also what I've seen in my own family, and I have a huge family. But AJ, the mother made the statement that he has these projects that he engages and disengages. That lets me know she tells him basically what he does isn't good enough for him, and she doesn't love and support what he does. The fact that he taught himself how to produce music and play instruments means he had such great passion for these things. And for her to make it seem like it was just like a fly by night, I do think AJ has maybe been trying to find himself, but that's because he has no foundation, I think. Okay? When I see situations like that, that's what I know. And I don't talk about this on this channel, but I'm a registered nurse. I've been a nurse for 17 years. I've been healthcare for over 25, and I used to work mental health. So some of the things, and you work mental health throughout your whole time in medical field, especially as a nurse, right? You learn to assess the situation so you know how to deal with the patients and the patients' families, and you know how to educate them and things of this sort. So that's where I'm getting this from. And then my own experiences in my own family and me dating and the research and reading and everything else that I've done. AJ has never felt protected by a woman, and that's why he's so guarded. I think AJ has been out here on his own, making his own way, and because he has to parent himself the way that he does is the reason why he operates the way that he does. And I know I said that earlier, but that's basically what's going on here. No one has given AJ a safe place to land, and because of that, he has held on to himself. AJ has more, like Kyra's mom says, more emotional intelligence than people give him credit for, because we would never know. He doesn't say anything. He sits back and he watches. He observes everything. He wants to see what you do. He wants to know if he can trust you. Trust is the issue for AJ because AJ hasn't had that trust. And he hasn't had anyone that really shows him that they really truly believe in him. Now, I could be wrong. But just based on how they were interacting, it's like the mother automatically took Kyra's side. Now, don't get me wrong. You hold your son accountable. I do believe in that. Hold your son accountable and vice versa, because we need to get to that, because there's some mothers that never hold their child accountable for their poor behaviors. But she was all too happy to go there. And then she was like, well, what's your interest in my son? Okay, that's a good question. But she gears off into, I want kids. She's not asking about Kyra. She's not like, Kyra, this is my son. I love my son. Like, I want to make sure you're okay for him. Because as women, we can see, right? Just like men can see. We see what isn't being said. We know, we can interpret what's really meant by things. So you want to get down to the nitty gritty, but it wasn't like that. It was more so like, I'm gonna choose this young lady that I just met over my son, because he has these projects. And that was another thing I didn't like. He has these projects that he engages and disengages in. He's a creative. Creators do that. But why wouldn't you? If she had said, okay, I'm so proud of AJ because he's been able to teach himself these things. Like, that's a different conversation. He's had a passion for something. He picked up that passion. He worked on it. He gained knowledge. And then, he goes on to the other thing, but he has passion about something and he's willing to go out of his way to learn these things. Like, so it's not like she gave him praise. She made it seem like it was some small thing that he taught himself how to produce music and play instruments, and he has now made a career out of that. That's huge. I don't think it meets her standards, and I think she reminds him that it doesn't meet her standards. AJ doesn't trust because he hasn't had a place to foster trust. And that breaks my heart. It's really sad to see. I think AJ, I know you probably will never see this episode. And if I'm wrong, I'm sorry I'm wrong. I don't think I am. But if I'm wrong, hey, I'm wrong. But just know that you'll find someone that's right for you. Just continue to work on yourself. Continue to grow. Continue to take your time and master your heart. But really deal with what you haven't dealt with, because there are a few things that you won't address. Just work on that and be the better person. You'll get the woman that you deserve, because I really believe that AJ is a loving, kind person. Again, he's just had to protect himself, and because he's had to protect himself, because he knows that if he loves, he's going to love hard, but he also knows that someone else's words can really hurt you and someone could walk away. He took a chance on Kyra. For one, he wanted to right his wrong. And for two, I think he knows enough to know if a person isn't right for him. But they're in their confusion, right? Neither one of them knows. And again, I said it last time, I think he was willing to struggle love with her if she wanted to. Kyra is just, she has a lot to deal with. Kyra has to deal with whatever issue she has with men. She has to deal with that, because you can tell it's not from her mother, just from what we saw anyway. It's an issue with men, and she has to deal with that, because she kind of wants to punish them, she kind of wants to dominate them, but then she wants to be led with them, by them, right? So she has to deal with that and figure out what's going on there. AJ, similar thing with his mom. I don't know what his relationship was with his dad. I don't know if his dad was around or not. I'm guessing not, though. I think it was a single parent home, and the mother, raised them, and she had a requirement and he didn't meet the requirement. Like, basically he was never good enough. That's just what I get, and that really breaks my heart. Anyway, I'm gonna get off that soapbox. I think, AJ, you'll find, just continue to work on you, continue being a creator, continue doing what you're doing, and grow, and the right one for you will come along, and she's gonna love you, and your heart will be safe with her, and she will appreciate you for who you are and what you are and what you bring to the table, right? So I hope he doesn't turn away. I'm just gonna go ahead and skip to the end. Basically, Vernisha and Joel chose each other. They're going to give it a try. Amber and KG chose each other. They're going to give it a try. Liz gets all her white roses, and her and Jason are like on cloud 9, and he's very happy and she's happy, and they're going to give it a try. Kyra, so AJ, because again, he does want to please. Like, here's the thing, when you haven't been able to make a parent happy, usually you spend your life trying to make them happy if you haven't dealt with that through different people, right? So AJ heard about the romance. It didn't even come from Kyra. It was just that her mother asked, are you romantic, And AJ did his thing. He put the flowers out. He played the piano. He did these things and wrote a song for her. And long and short, Kyra went through this whole thing and said, I don't choose you. Kyra chose Jason from the jump, but because of where she is, she couldn't take that leap. And we end up here. So Kyra basically walks away, and AJ said he came for love and he's going to still look. And I really do hope you continue to look for love. Like, you're a good man, and you'll find a very good woman to be there for you and give you what you deserve, and you'll have a great relationship with the right one. That time is coming. So it was interesting. I don't want to get into what Kyra, the back and forth. That's basically it. I hope you guys enjoyed this analysis or my input, and just comment below whether you agreed or disagreed. I want to thank all of the new subscribers and those of you guys who've returned. Thank you to everyone who's commented and who's given me a thumbs up. Like, I really do appreciate it. This is a new channel. My ultimate goal is to promote healing and love in our community. I don't think there's enough of it. And I also want to promote conversations amongst us. Like, we've been taught to grow up and keep things secret, but these secrets are tearing our community apart. And I would like for us to share more and love more and heal more so that we can be a stronger community. So that's ultimately my goal. I don't know. I'm thinking about reviewing Put a Ring on It. I watched it on the plane, and that was very interesting. So I may do that since Ready to Love is coming to an end. But I hope you enjoyed it. Please like, share, and subscribe. Check out my podcast, Let the Ladies Speak. I am on Apple and Spotify and Anchor. I want you to have a wonderful, beautiful day. I hope you're safe and well, and I wish you the very best. Thank you for letting me speak. Love you for who you are. Bye-bye.